One of the hardest problems to solve in software is scale. You might have an application that works well for 2 or 3 or 4 users. What you'll eventually run into is once you become so successful that you have 100 or 200 or 1,000 concurrent users, if you don't go with custom software solutions, oftentimes your success will actually be your downfall. So you need to have architects, you need to have engineers, you need to have developers that really know what they're doing and are able to produce software that scales not just for the initial use case, but what you have 2 or 5 or 10 years down the road. Most business users at companies these days usually have a handful of different applications that they need to work with on a given basis. We see this all the time actually with our healthcare customers. A single user is expected to be an expert in 3 or 4 or 5 different EMRs. What we have found is that digital transformation efforts through single pane of glass applications allow our end users not to have to be experts in all these different systems, but provide them a single pane of glass experience that then lets them integrate with all these other systems that comprise a company's ecosystem. When it comes to software, there's 2 models that you have for pricing. The first is that you bring on a development team that gives you your custom solution, and then you have operational costs. The other model is you get off-the-shelf software, which only has operational costs, but it has hidden costs in terms of what you need to do to integrate with that, with all your other systems. It has costs often in terms of how many users you can use. That's how you buy the licensing for. And there's a decision, there's a scalable decision that needs to be made by all business stakeholders, whether they are willing to invest the capital to create custom solutions that truly work for their particular business use case, or whether they are going to suffer the friction of these off-the-shelf offerings. You have many choices when it comes to who you have write your custom software. You could either go onshore, nearshore, or offshore. If I were you, and I was going to make the investment into something that is going to propel my business forward, that is going to give me a competitive advantage over everyone else in the market, I wouldn't want to leave it to chance. I would really want to talk only with the best. And even if it costs a little bit more in the short term, the long-term gains that you get as a business will pay dividends when you go with an onshore model like what Keyhole has to offer.